Hello, Fairy Tale Things. For an unusual episode, you'll have to hear me speak with voiceover because of all of the music playing in public spaces. But today we are going to the mall to look for some Shrek stuff. But first, we're stopping at Pizza Hut because, yes, I live near a dine-in Pizza Hut. We can actually sit down, look at the cool little themed lamps up ahead, and eat pizza. I had to include this because if I mentioned it, nobody would believe me. So, you want to know why I don't go to the mall food court? Pizza Hut, my friend. Pizza Hut. But yes, this was my childhood mall. I say was because I haven't been here since, God, I honestly think 2007 or 2008. I used to live right around the corner from this mall, so I would go to it a lot more. But these days, it's a little out of the way. But I wanted to go to a mall I haven't been to in a while because all the local malls around me, I've checked them again and again for Shrek stuff, and I thought maybe, since this is a different mall, they would have something cool. Well, they did have these freaky mannequins. Why are they so tiny? It's bothering me, people. It's weird. And this was just the beginning of the odd, strange things you will see at this mall adventure. But let's go to Hot Topic, because they usually have some new Shrek stuff. And they were fully in back-to-school mode, so no Halloween yet. I mean, if you went to school with the, Digital Circus backpack, you would have been the hippest kid ever. And Invader Zim. Do kids still like Invader Zim? Like, is this still popular in middle school and high school? It was when I was in middle school and high school. I guess some things never change as generations do. They did have some dragon stuff. I believe this is leftover from the movie, so not particularly new. Those are some strange-looking dragons. But these dragons we know, it's Hiccup and Astrid's dragon. You could have matching couples necklaces. That's adorable. I thought this Shadow the Hedgehog hoodie was pretty cool, but then I saw the one next to it, and it definitely takes the cake. You have Shadow on one side and Maria on the other, and when you unzip it, they separate. That is so depressing and also amazing. The Shrek lip balm, I've looked at this before, and I can't figure out why I can't just commit and buy this. Yeah, I didn't buy it this time either. Maybe it's because it's like $8, right, for lip balm, and it's not even onion flavored. It's raspberry flavored. That's disappointing. This was actually new, a Shrek hair bonnet, so you can keep your luxurious hair in order without any of that. What happens to hair again when it gets long? Look, I am a guy with short hair. I have no concept of this. But if I was a guy with very long, amazing hair, I would use that bonnet to keep my luscious locks keeping beautiful. Okay, this is what I came for. This is Series 2 of the Shrek bag clips. My never-ending saga with these bag clips. I did see the display at Comic-Con, but the display was empty. Oh, they had them at Hot Topic. Thank God. And some of the character choices here are amazing. So I dug around and I picked two good ones. Okay, are you guys ready for the greatest shot ever at Hot Topic? Wow, it says MILF. Man, I love furries. Hilarious to see. You know, I was an awkward furry kid, and if they had furry stuff at Hot Topic, when I was a teenager, it definitely would have helped things out. This is new. This is the Shrek Stanley Cup. Okay, not officially by Stanley, but it's a Stanley-like cup. I had seen this online, and I did want to buy it, but man, seeing this in person for $32, I actually was pretty let down. And you can't really see it in the video, but I swear the graphic of the Beware Ogre has like JPEG artifacting on it. It doesn't look clean. Okay, now here is the Great Wall of Games. This actually was not inside of this GameStop. Hey look, it's the Puss in Boots game. This was a local game store next to GameStop. I've never played the Puss in Boots game, by the way. Is it good? You guys will have to let me know. I want to play all the Shrek games one day. I think it would be really great. But look at this wall of games. This is crazy. It's cool to see stuff like this, but it also makes you realize, like, why video games have gotten so hard to collect, because stores like this just have such huge supplies of them. And honestly, the prices here were pretty high. Like, I get that rent is expensive at these places, and small businesses face a lot of overhead. I understand that completely, but man, I don't know, a lot of the prices here just seemed a little out of control. But a lot of cool childhood nostalgic titles. Did you guys play any of these games? This one stuck out to me, Pirates of the Caribbean, the game. I bought this as a kid and played it, and I remember being really let down because it's not directly a Pirates of the Caribbean game. It's actually, I think it's Sid Meier's Pirates, which is, you can also see to the left of it, they are rebranded to Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's still a good game. Robots, the game. I like this one because they obviously had lost the cover and they printed out their own cover. I think that is just plain adorable. Plus, Robots is like a goated movie, let's be real. Okay, Macy's. I don't think Macy's has any new Shrek stuff, but they do have a Toys R Us inside. come have a seat with me and Jeffrey. And they used to be the place to find Sonic the Hedgehog action figures. But these days, they've become really disappointed. Like, a Hot Wheels display with a ton of Nathan Fillions from Superman is exactly what you'd expect. And check this out. An entire case of nothing but Shadow the Hedgehog with all of the card backs ripped. That was so disappointing. That means somebody saw this case of Shadow and decided to rip all of the card backs. That makes me upset. This was a new How to Train a Dragon set. I have not seen anywhere online that seems to be exclusive to Macy's. So if you want more little dragons in your life, go to Macy's and pick that up. Now, this was an unusual one for the mall, the Bargain Book World, and I was excited when I saw this, but only a couple of Dreamworks items, or should I say Dreamworks adjacent items, like the bad guys' books, but you could see it did have the sticker there that says, now a major motion picture. I've never read the bad guys' books. Are they as good as the movies? And here's Dogman, and people love Dogman. Everybody loves Dogman. Dogman makes people happy. What else we got? Oh, this was interesting. Right next to the Dan and Phil book. Oh, this is a flashback. Free Realms. I never played Free Realms, but I do remember that ad and that talking flying squirrel in particular. Johnny Test looking furry dude. They did put all of their licensed books together, which I have to commend them for. It makes it real easy to check if there's any stuff I'm missing. A lot of nostalgia here. Jackie Chan Adventures, Princess Protection Program, Zoe 101. Not necessarily stuff I was a fan of, but stuff I do remember. One thing, however, I do not remember was Bro Girls. All I know Bro Girls are you guys. You guys are my Bro Girls. Finally, just to mock me, Mr. McGoyam's Wonder Emporium, my least favorite movie of all time. Another flashback was FYE in this mall. They had DreamWorks DVDs. Man, I used to love FYE. I went here a ton as a kid to look for movies and toys, so I was still surprised to see one with so many DreamWorks movies. Unfortunately, I have all of these in my collection already, so there was no need for that. Speaking of things I already have in my collection, the UI's Shrek is getting a wider release at FYE big box stores, and I do highly recommend this plush. I love him a lot, so if you see him, you should buy him. Now, I gotta give a shout out to the employees who were very friendly and did show me some of the new Shrek items they got, like this pair of socks. But if I reviewed every pair of Shrek socks released, well, that's all we would talk about. This hat was also new, and while I do like it, it's a nice hat, wearing it would require me to not wear the Shrek bucket hat or beanies that I love oh so much. The employees also showed me this magnet that is new, and I did buy that for my refrigerator because I like it, and it's got Shrek on it. Say no to drugs. Say yes to tacos. Okay, this next piece of video is very, very disturbing. I will have to warn viewers. They have taken an empty storefront, and they have created a mock Sbarro pizza filled with immobile mannequin people. This is like something you would see out of a Jordan Peele movie. It's really, really freaky. I think the freakiest part isn't even the mannequin people that aren't moving. I actually think it's a Sbarro with this many people in it that's so scary. And if there's any words of advice you guys need to live by, it's that you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a skateboard, and that's kind of the same thing. I give you guys Minecraft 2. No words needed. And finally, we end on what was supposed to be the most exciting stop at the mall. JCPenney, a new challenger in the Shrek merchandise arena. There's been a lot of postings about JCPenney getting some Shrek shorts, two items in particular that have taken the internet by storm. One is a Shrek hoodie that's 3D, and the other is a Shrek mesh top that everyone has to have for the Shrek raves. Upstairs, though, all I found was an ad for the Lego Movie 2, so that hasn't been touched in like 6 or 7 years. I was really let down. I actually did want to look at those new items. The hoodie was definitely a yes. The mesh top, I was still unsure on, but you know what? I just wanted to see it because everybody on the internet was talking about it so much, and you know what? I would wear this. Like, for you guys, I would. What do you think? Could I rock the Shrek mesh top? I think I could. But they didn't have it. Such a letdown. And thus concludes a very mediocre mall visit. I enjoyed my $2 coffee from Cinnabon. I didn't even know coffee still was $2 in some places. We will now move on to my Shrek keychain unboxing because I guess I'll have to include it in this video because it's not nearly as long, or I didn't buy as much stuff as I thought I would. So let's open up some figures, grab a cup of coffee. Wow, this is the saddest Shrek mall haul I've ever had. I usually buy way more Shrek stuff at the mall. I decided this one time I was going to make it a full video, and it's when I have the most pathetic haul of them all. I should have just went back and bought more of these, but guys, at $9.90 and with the high sales tax, these came out to $11 each. That just seems a little high for figures that you don't even know what you're getting. These could be the same one, but I felt around in the bin, and I think I made some good choices. So first, let's look at the magnet here. It says Shrek Life, Shrek It Out, Misfit, Rebel, Troublemaker. Look at that. That is neat. Okay, now on to the exciting stuff. Here is the Shrek Series 2, fittingly themed to Shrek 2. We have Charming in his Shrek the Third outfit, which is not themed to Shrek 2. We have Doris, the ugly stepsister. This is the one I want the most, because they've never made a Doris toy before, and I was very excited when this was revealed. We have Lillian, who I would like to have, because I do have Harold. And then we have Shrek, Shrek with Donkey on top, Fiona, Donkey, Puss, you know the usuals. And then a very interesting Gingy that is all angry. This is Austin in the editing bay. Originally, I had speculated on why that Gingy figure was just so angry, but it seems Shrek History on Twitter has cracked the mystery. So first, you need to go follow Shrek History, literally the best news source on the internet for all Shrek updates, news, and things. Shrek History found a preliminary catalog for these Monogram keychains, and you can see in the pre-release photo, this keychain was supposed to be Mongo from the end of Shrek 2. Now, Mongo is an angry version of Gingy, but he also doesn't have his legs broken like on this figure, so it seems whoever sculpted this made an error by sculpting the frosted legs that Gingy has, and at the last second, this figure of what is clearly Mongo was renamed to Gingy. Stuff like this is fascinating and why I love toy collecting. Shrek History, thank you for finding this. You are an internet legend. Then we do have two chase figures that are easily the best ones of the set. So the first of these chase figures is the Fairy Godmother billboard from Shrek 2, and I can't believe I'm talking about this in a video so soon, because I just talked about this billboard in the Shrek 2 Rare Figures video, because they made this figure of the billboard, and I believe I said they would never make another figure of the Fairy Godmother billboard again. And of course, the moment I released that video, they revealed this wave of figures, which includes the Godmother billboard. So I guess I'm wrong, and we will get tons of Fairy Godmother billboard figures. And if you don't know, that Fairy Godmother billboard is a reference to the famous Angeline billboards that once dotted the streets of Hollywood in Los Angeles. As a California local, it is a very fun reference and piece of Los Angeles kitsch right there. Angeline was a very famous model, but she only got famous because of these billboards she put all over LA. So maybe we'll get the billboard. The other one is the dog from Shrek 2 that the internet loves. We do actually see this dog in quite a few scenes. The Fairy Godmother gives it to Fiona. It whimpers when Shrek screams, and then it's at the end dance party. It is a Bichon Frise. Look, I'm only saying it how Jennifer Saunders pronounces it during her song when she goes, "Have a Bichon Frise." Like, I actually don't know anything about dog names. This could be the complete wrong name for the dog, but I'm trusting the judgment of the Fairy Godmother, and I do want to get this one, so let's open them up. All right, here we go. The suspense is killing me. I hope it will last. Oh, it's Donkey. Oh, look at that. He's a much more quadruped Donkey. Yeah, look at that. So let's compare Donkey to the first Series 1 I just recently unboxed, and he's decidedly more 3D. For one, he looks a lot better when viewed from the side. This one's pretty cursed. Some cursed angles there. But this one looks very nice. This is cute. This is a cute figure. Is his snoot a little longer? Maybe. I really can't tell, but it is quadruped Donkey. That's cute. I actually like that one. It's much more figural than the previous releases, so interesting evolution of the character. Not the most exciting, but still a very fun figure. Okay, now let's move on to our second one here. Oh, please be a character I don't have. Wouldn't that be great? This one feels weird. I can't even... Oh my god! It is the dog. The French But you say, you know what? I need to learn how to say that dog's name correctly now because I own it, because I have it. This is a home run. This is exactly the one I wanted because it's a character I haven't put on my Shrek shelf yet. And to me, that's the best type of Shrek collectible, is a new item. You know, it doesn't particularly look very Shrek-like. Like, anyone could look at this donkey and go, oh, that's Donkey from Shrek. But this one's neat because somebody will point this out in my collection and go, well, why do you have that? What is that dog? It looks like the Rick and Morty dog. And I could be like, no, that is not the Rick and Morty dog, you uncultured swine. That is the dog from Shrek 2 that Shrek body slams at the end of the movie. Don't worry, the doggy's okay at the end. They show the doggy. The doggy is fine. It could handle Shrek's massive girth, which makes this dog one of the most powerful characters in the Shrek universe, believe it or not. Well, that is cute, and I'm sure these are going to look great when put with my other keychains and with the Shrek figures, because this dog looks like it would scale nicely with some of the Shrek toys they've made. So there you go. There is Series 2 of the Shrek keychains. My honest review, they're a little pricey again. $10 is just a bit too much for these. I think like $5.99 would be a sweet spot for these. You know, $11's just a little too high. But the character choices are phenomenal. So if you're a diehard Shrek fan, definitely buy some of these. I'm just happy I got the doggy. Wow. So we didn't get all of the cool Shrek stuff at the mall, but we did get some fun keychains. And at the end of the day, that's really all you could ask for. Go on a little adventure, see some cool things, and buy a couple of neat things. So let me know what you guys thought of this. You know, if you want to see another mall trip looking for Shrek goodies, I imagine closer to Shrek 5, we'll do a lot better with our Shrek hunts. But thanks for watching, and as always, have a happily ever after. Special thanks to my swampy supporters for making this channel possible: Bor Usta, the Layered Ogre, Jidjip, Bonzario, Griffin Newman, Telephone Wire, the Luke Rosati, Binks, Pizza Topping, SM03, Jamie, Sailor Laws, Don Tizzle, Shotgun Justice, Pladley, Tucker Time, Antonio Bocina, and Love Monster Fanatic. If you'd love to see your name up here, consider purchasing a YouTube membership. But a huge special thanks to you for watching the video all the way until the end. It means a ton.